Have you ever really thought about a potato? I mean, really thought about it. What if I told you that this humble, everyday vegetable could actually be a living archive? That it could hold the history, the knowledge, and the very soul of a community? Well, today we're going to dig in and see how one of the world's simplest foods is actually a profound cultural treasure. And we're kicking this off by looking at a fantastic study from 2022 published in the Journal of Ethnobiology and Ethnomedicine. This paper takes us high up into the Andes to really understand this deep, intricate connection between people and their ancestral potatoes. It's a story about food, yeah, but it's also about family and heritage. So, our story starts right here, in the municipality of Chiscas. This is a place where local farmers aren't just growing food, they're the guardians of an absolutely incredible agricultural and cultural treasure. And this is exactly where researchers went to document a tradition that's been handed down for generations. Now, these researchers, they had a really clear goal. They wanted to document all the traditional knowledge surrounding these native potatoes. And what they discovered, it wasn't just some list of crops. It was a vibrant, living library of biodiversity, woven deep into the fabric of the community's daily life. The first thing they found was just how incredibly diverse these potatoes are. Get this, they documented 23 different local, or as they say, vernacular names for the native potato varieties grown right there in that region. 23, each and every one with its own unique story. And here's what's so cool, these aren't just random labels someone made up. The names themselves are a form of knowledge. You've got names like bola de toro, which means bull's ball, or pico de pollo, meaning chicken's beak. They're literally describing the potato's unique shape. It connects the food directly to the world right around them. So, how are all these different potatoes being used? Well, based on hundreds of reports, the vast majority, a whopping 70%, are grown for the home, for family meals, for daily life. But, as you can see, a solid chunk, about 25%, are vital for local commerce, especially the famous criollas. And then there's that fascinating 5% that holds a special place in ritual or even magical traditions. Okay, so you have this rich tradition, all this diversity. It begs a really important question. In our fast-changing world, how is all this specific local knowledge about 23 different kinds of potatoes actually being preserved? How is it being passed on? Well, the study found that the answer is mainly through something called vertical transmission. And that's just a way of saying it's a direct line of knowledge. It's an inheritance, passed straight down from grandparents to parents and then from parents to their kids. It's this incredibly powerful, intimate form of cultural education. And this right here, this just brings it all home. Think about it. For the community elders, the people who hold the most knowledge, over 80% of them learned everything they know directly from their family. This is a legacy that is literally passed from one hand to the next. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The researchers didn't just stop at observing this legacy. They found a way to actually measure its cultural weight. I mean, how on earth do you put a number on something as intangible as heritage? It sounds kind of impossible, right? But the study used a scientific field called quantitative ethnobotany. By using these special indices, they could calculate a real numerical value for things like a potato's versatility, how widely it's known, and how many different uses it has. They managed to turn stories and traditions into hard data. And when they crunched the numbers, the results were crystal clear. The criollas variety, with a massive cultural importance score of 0.812, stands head and shoulders above all the rest. It is, without a doubt, the most significant, the most versatile, and the most recognized potato in the entire community. So here's the bottom line. When all the data for all the native potatoes was put together, it spit out a final ethnobotanical importance index of 57.26. Now, according to the scale they use, this officially classifies the cultural value of these potatoes as very high. This isn't just a crop, people. It is a cornerstone of their entire culture. But this story isn't just about celebrating the past. The study took a really modern approach, even using AI to analyze the community's feelings, their hopes, and their fears about the future of these incredibly important potatoes. And this slide shows this fascinating contrast, a real push and pull. On one side, you have this immense pride and positivity about the potatoes themselves, their taste, their diversity, their place as heritage. But on the other side, there are some very real-world concerns about the lack of trade opportunities, the huge challenges of conservation, and a feeling that the number of varieties being grown is actually shrinking. And this matters way beyond just this one community. See, protecting these potatoes isn't just about food security for Chiscas, it's about preserving something called agrobiodiversity. This is the foundation of resilient food systems for all of us, and it is completely tied to the cultural knowledge that keeps it alive. So, what's the big takeaway here? This research from the Journal of Ethnobiology and Ethnomedicine, it's not just a beautiful story. It's a powerful tool, a roadmap that can actually help protect these ancestral tubers for the future. You know, this study from Chisca is such a profound reminder that some of the world's richest legacies, they aren't locked away in museums. They're alive, they're evolving, and they're cultivated in the earth by communities who've cared for them for centuries. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other stories are hiding in plain sight right on your own plate?